All right, so welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring the Boss Money Formula.
Okay.
So this book, it's like a guide, right,
hmm
to launching a digital product.
Right.
But it's not, your typical business advice.
Yeah.
It goes kind of deeper than that. It dives into like spirituality, personal growth.
hmm
It's kind of like imagine if a self-help book and a marketing manual had a baby.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to kind of break down those core concepts in the book
Okay.
and kind of see how they, work together, connect to create this kind of unique approach to success.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So one of the things that struck me right off the bat was how the author kind of uses these, a lot of unconventional methods to kind of get at the mindset and energy that you need to actually be successful.
Okay.
Which is something you don't typically see in like traditional business advice.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's interesting too, like right away, the author starts with a section called the CEO's Bible. And I have to say, I was a little taken aback. I was like, wait, what? Bible verses in a business book?
Right. Like I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that at all. Yeah.
But it does make sense though, right? Like in the context of what the author's trying to say, because like at its core, it really is about the importance of vision,
Yes.
wise decision making, that courage to take action
Hmm.
and trusting in something bigger than yourself. And
Right.
that might resonate with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially those who are, people of faith.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's interesting because some of the verses that they pull out are pretty powerful,
Mm-hmm.
even on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Habakkuk 2, 2, and 3, where it talks about like, writing down your vision and then waiting patiently for it to manifest.
Yes.
And I was like, that to me, that sounds like the law of attraction, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I see that parallel there too. And I think that's kind of what the author's getting at. This idea that, by aligning your thoughts and actions with your vision, you can attract the resources, the opportunities you need to actually make that happen.
Hmm.
It's almost like, think about it like, setting an intention and then actively working towards it
Okay.
and trusting that, the pieces will kind of fall into place as you go.
So it's not just about like, wishing for something.
Right.
It's about actually taking that action and having faith in the process.
Yes, exactly. And I think the author really emphasizes, action is key here.
Yes.
You can't just sit back and hope. It's about aligning your energy with your goals.
Okay.
And that takes more than just thinking positive thoughts, you need a plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of plan, let's move on to what the book defines as a boss.
Okay.
So they have this acronym, BOSS,
Yeah.
which stands for boundaries, order, structure, and spirit.
I love that. Yeah. And they all play such a vital role. Like they're all interconnected. Like first you have those boundaries, right?
Mhm.
Which are just so crucial for protecting your time and your energy.
Right.
You got to have those limits to prevent burnout because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, I hear that.
And then there's order,
Okay.
which is all about creating systems, routines that kind of streamline your work and, just make things run more efficiently.
Okay. So kind of like getting organized, having a place for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I think that can be especially helpful in the world of launching a digital product, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it can get pretty chaotic, right? Like
Yeah.
there are so many moving parts, it's easy to get overwhelmed. So having that order can really help kind of keep you grounded and focused.
Yeah.
And then of course we have structure,
Okay.
which is all about having a clear plan, a framework for your business. Because without that structure, it's like, trying to build a house without a blueprint.
Right.
And then finally we have spirit,
Okay.
which really connects to your purpose, your why.
Yeah.
It's like the driving force behind everything you do, that passion that kind of keeps you going when things get tough.
Yeah. No, I like that. So it's like all four of those elements kind of work together to create this solid foundation.
Exactly.
Right.
Like the boundaries create that space for order, then that structure provides the direction, and then the spirit is what kind of fuels that whole journey.
Right. It's interesting, though, that the author uses the word boss because, when we think of boss, we think of, traditional authority.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think it's very intentional that the author chose that word because they're not talking about like, traditional authority over other people. It's more about like personal mastery and leadership.
Okay, so it's about leading yourself before you lead others. Okay. Okay, so kind of being in control of your own journey.
Yes, yes. And that's really the foundation of being a boss, according to the author.
Okay, no, I like that. So let's kind of get to the heart of the book.
Okay.
The Boss Money Formula.
Hmm.
I love that it's an equation.
Right, yeah.
It's like mind plus people times systems equals success.
Yeah.
And putting mind first, I feel like, is such a powerful statement.
Right. Like, it just highlights that everything starts with your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And the book really delves into that,
Yeah.
you know? It talks about the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and how our thoughts create these electrical impulses and how
Right.
our emotions generate magnetic pull. And it even says that we are, like, human electromagnets.
I love that.
Right.
That's the part, like, when I was reading that, I was like, whoa, hold on, rewind. Like, I think it's so fascinating to think about that, we attract experiences based on that dominant energy, that we're putting out. Like, it reminds me of that saying, like, what you focus on expands.
Yeah, absolutely. And the author provides like these practical techniques to kind of align your thoughts and emotions with your desired outcomes.
Okay, like what?
Things like practicing gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
using affirmations,
Okay.
visualizing. It's all about intentionally shifting that energy to attract what you want.
Okay. So it's not it's not all about like internal work though, right?
Exactly.
Because the formula also includes people.
Right.
And that's kind of interesting to me because, we're talking about digital products here,
Mm-hmm.
which, can sometimes feel very impersonal.
Yeah. And I think you've hit on a key point there.
Okay.
The author actually talks about this idea of quantum entanglement. Have you ever heard of that?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't totally understand it, but I've heard of it, yeah.
It's a little mind-bending, but essentially the idea is that everything is interconnected on this like deeper level,
Okay.
even if we can't see it with the naked eye.
Right.
And they argue that human connection is key even in the digital space.
So they're saying, like, even if you're selling a digital product, you still need to build relationships,
Yes,
with your audience. It's not just about the product, it's about creating a connection.
exactly. And they actually advocate for engaging all 5 senses in marketing, making the product a tangible experience even though it's digital.
Okay. How do you do that?
Well, they talk about things like storytelling, tapping into emotions, and fostering a sense of community around your product.
Okay. Yes.
So even though it's a digital product, you're still trying to create that like human experience.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so kind of create that shared experience.
Exactly.
Even though everyone's kind of interacting with the product individually,
Right.
it makes the whole, digital world feel less transactional and more human.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the goal. And the author even goes into like consumer behavior, this thing they call the pain pleasure pendulum.
Okay, I haven't heard of that. What is that?
So it basically boils down to how humans make decisions, right? We're naturally wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure.
Right.
So effective marketing is really all about positioning your product as either a solution to a problem, like some kind of pain point,
Right.
or as a source of positive emotions, like something that brings you joy or fulfillment.
Okay, so understanding like what your audience is struggling with,
Yeah,
and then kind of positioning your product as the answer to that.
exactly. It's about framing your product in a way that resonates with their deepest desires and fears.
Right. Okay. Okay, interesting. So we've talked about mind and people. So that brings us to the final element of this formula.
Yes.
Systems.
Right.
I'm guessing this is where the sales funnel comes into play.
You got it.
Okay.
The author breaks it down into 3 main stages: attract, build, convert. And each stage has its own set of like strategies and tools that you can use to kind of guide those potential customers towards actually making a purchase.
Yeah. One thing I thought was really interesting is how the author compares the sales funnel to building a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about like closing a deal. It's about, nurturing a connection and guiding the customer towards a solution that actually benefits them.
Right, exactly. And that's a crucial point because, this system that they lay out, it's not about, manipulation or trickery. It's about providing value, building trust.
Right. So creating that win-win situation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Where both the customer and the business benefits.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, now, for the part that really surprised me,
Yeah.
the 7 universal laws.
Yes.
Now, I was not expecting to find that in a business book.
Right. It's definitely unexpected, but it speaks to, the author's kind of holistic approach.
Okay.
Because they argue that, understanding these laws can help you navigate not just your business, but, your entire life.
Okay, so can you give us like an example? Like what are some of these laws and how do they apply to business?
Okay. Well, so one example is the law of vibration,
Okay.
which states that, everything is energy vibrating at a specific frequency.
Okay, that's a little abstract for me.
Yeah.
How does that actually apply to like launching a digital product?
So what the author is saying is that the energy you bring to your business can actually influence everything from the ideas you generate to the people you attract. Imagine it like a radio signal.
Okay.
If you're broadcasting on a frequency of like fear and scarcity, you're likely to attract similar energy.
Right.
But if you're broadcasting on a frequency of like abundance and joy, you're going to attract more of that.
Okay, so if you want to attract success, you need to like be vibrating at a frequency of success.
Exactly. It's all about aligning your energy with your desired outcome.
Okay. That makes sense. So what are some of the other laws?
Well, another one that's really relevant to entrepreneurs is the law of rhythm, which states that, everything flows in cycles.
Mm-hmm.
There are natural ups and downs in business, just like there are in life.
Right.
And so the idea is instead of resisting these cycles, we should learn to kind of ride the waves.
Okay.
The author uses this great analogy of the ocean. You can't stop the waves from coming, but you can learn to surf.
I like that analogy. So it's about recognizing that challenges are inevitable, but it's how we respond to them that really determines our success.
Exactly. Yeah. And the author really emphasizes that, all of these laws work together. They're interconnected
Mm-hmm.
and they shape our reality in ways that we might not even realize.
Okay, so it's about understanding these universal principles and then consciously applying them.
Yeah.
To our lives and to our business.
Exactly. It's about aligning ourselves with the natural flow of the universe.
Okay, fascinating. Okay, now before we move on to kind of the practical tools and resources that the book offers,
Okay.
I want to take a little pause here. Is there anything from kind of this first part, this formula, that's really resonating with you or standing out to you?
What I keep coming back to is that concept of the human electromagnet.
Okay.
It's just this powerful reminder that, we really are constantly attracting experiences
Yeah.
based on our dominant energy. And it really emphasizes the importance of that mindset work, of consciously choosing those thoughts and emotions that align with what we want.
Yeah. No, it's a little mind-blowing to think about, that we have that much power.
It is.
Right, to shape our reality.
Yes. And the book gives us, practical tools and techniques that we can actually use to harness that power.
Okay.
To become more conscious creators of our own experience.
It's like we're all walking around with these invisible magnets, right?
Exactly.
Attracting and repelling.
Yes.
And it's based on, what's going on the inside.
It's a powerful image.
Yeah.
It makes you really think twice about the energy that you're putting out in the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The cool thing is, the book actually gives us the tools to help us be more intentional with that energy.
Okay, so we've established mindset is key.
Yes.
But what about the other elements of the formula, the people and the systems?
Right.
How do they fit into this picture of the human electromagnet?
Well, if you think about it, the people that we attract into our lives, whether it's customers or collaborators or mentors, they're all drawn to us in some way by our energy.
Okay,
right?
So if we're vibrating at a frequency of success, we're more likely to attract people who can help us achieve our goals.
Exactly. And the systems we create, whether it's a sales funnel or a marketing plan or even just our daily routine, they all serve to amplify that energy.
Okay.
And direct it towards what we want.
Okay, so it's like having this powerful engine, which is our mindset, right?
Yes.
And then using the right tools and strategies, which is the people and systems, to steer that engine towards our destination.
That's a great analogy. I love that. The Bossmoney Formula is like the blueprint for building that engine and creating that navigation system.
Okay, so it's not just about having a great idea for a digital product.
Right.
It's about having that right mindset, attracting the right people, and building the right systems.
Yes.
To bring that idea to life.
That's exactly what we're going to be exploring in the next part of our deep dive, actually.
Awesome.
How to take these core concepts and actually apply them to those practical steps of launching a successful digital product.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more.
Me too.
All right. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Back again.
We're getting into the nitty-gritty now.
Getting into the real, like, how-to stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how do we actually use all this mind-blowing stuff?
Yeah, how do we actually take action, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So let's talk about the tools and the resources that the book provides.
Okay.
First up, we got the CEO's Toolkit.
Yes.
Now, this toolkit, it's really like a treasure chest for entrepreneurs.
Oh, it is amazing. Like, they cover everything from email marketing platforms to project management apps, resources for market research.
And it even includes suggestions for like journaling and mindfulness practices.
Right, exactly. It's like
holistic.
It is. It's mind, body, and business all in one toolkit.
I love that.
Like, for example, they recommend specific platforms for building your email list, automating your email sequences, which is like crucial for nurturing leads and converting them into customers. And they even provide like guidance on writing compelling email copy that actually resonates with your audience.
So it's like having this step-by-step guide for setting up the systems that allow your business to run smoothly, efficiently. And it's not just about the technical side of things either. Right. Like they also recommend tools that support, your personal growth, your well-being.
Yeah, because you can't
recognizing like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. You have to take care of yourself as an entrepreneur, make sure you're in the right headspace.
Yeah.
To actually tackle all the challenges that come with building a business.
Burnout is real.
Oh, yeah.
So much easier to prevent it than to recover from it.
Absolutely. And the toolkit really helps you do that.
Okay, so we got the CEO's Toolkit, which is like a comprehensive toolbox, right, for building this successful digital product business.
Yes.
Then there's the sales funnel checklist.
Ah, yes, the checklist. This is pure gold.
Oh.
Like, this gives you a practical roadmap for building a sales funnel that actually converts. It walks you through each stage, from attracting your ideal customers to nurturing relationships and ultimately turning them into paying customers.
And it's not just like a generic checklist.
No, it's specifically tailored to this Bossmoney Formula.
Right.
It integrates all those principles that we've been talking about, like the law of attraction, that human electromagnet concept.
Okay.
For instance, when it comes to attracting those customers, the checklist emphasizes the importance of aligning your marketing message with the energy you want to attract.
So it's not just about like getting your product in front of as many people as possible.
Right.
It's about attracting the right people.
Exactly.
Right. The people who resonate with your message, with your values.
It's all about quality over quantity.
Yeah.
You want those people who are actually going to benefit from what you have to offer.
Okay. And the checklist doesn't stop at attracting the customers.
No.
Right. It also goes into, how do you build those relationships?
Yes.
How do you nurture those leads?
It talks about creating valuable content that educates and engages your audience, builds that trust, establishes you as an authority in your niche.
So it's not just about selling, it's about serving, right? Providing that value, building those genuine connections.
Exactly. And the checklist actually gives you specific strategies for doing that, like creating lead magnets, hosting webinars, building an engaged community on social media.
It sounds like a really comprehensive guide.
It is.
To creating a sales funnel that feels authentic and aligned with that holistic approach.
Yes, it's not about manipulation or trickery. It's about guiding your customers towards a solution that genuinely benefits them.
Okay, so we got these amazing tools, right?
Yes.
We got the CEO's Toolkit, we got the sales funnel checklist.
Yeah.
But let's kind of go back to the core concepts.
Okay.
For a minute, we were talking about the 7 universal laws earlier. Can you give us a couple more examples of how those laws apply to building a digital product business?
Sure, yeah. One that I find really fascinating is the law of polarity, which states that everything has an opposite, like light and dark, hot and cold. In the context of business, this law suggests that you can't have success without failure. Okay.
You can't have growth without challenges.
So it's about embracing those ups and downs, right?
Yes.
Understanding that they're all part of the journey.
Exactly. Yeah. The author actually encourages us to view those challenges as opportunities for growth.
Okay.
to learn from our mistakes and come back even stronger.
That's a powerful shift in perspective
It is.
to reframe those, quote unquote failures as stepping stones
Yeah.
on the path to success.
Yeah, exactly. It's all part of the process.
Okay, what about some of the other laws?
Well, the law of correspondence is another one that I think is really relevant to entrepreneurs.
What's that one?
So that one suggests that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world.
Okay. So if we want to create a successful business, we need to first cultivate like a successful mindset.
Exactly. Like it's about aligning our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions with that desired outcome.
Okay.
And the author argues that what we focus on expands.
Right.
So we focus on abundance.
We're more likely to attract abundance, but if we focus on scarcity,
Yeah.
that's what we're going to see more of.
Okay. It's like that saying, what you believe is what you receive.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And this ties back to that human electromagnet concept.
Okay.
We're constantly emitting a frequency.
Right.
And that frequency is what attracts those experiences that match it.
So it's not just about taking action. It's about taking aligned action.
Yes.
Right. Taking action that's infused with the energy of our desired outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's where the practical tools and strategies come in, right? They kind of help us channel that energy in a more focused, more effective way.
Exactly. They give us that roadmap, that structure.
Okay, so we got these powerful universal laws working in the background.
Yeah.
We got these practical tools to help us navigate the journey. But there's one more concept we need to discuss.
Okay.
The Trinity of Reality, or IAM.
Yes, IAM. This is where like the spiritual and the practical really come together. It stands for Imagine, Attract, Manifest.
Okay.
And it's basically a framework for creating anything you desire.
Okay, and it's deeply rooted in that powerful statement, I am that I am.
Exactly. It's about aligning yourself with that creative power of the universe.
Okay.
So that imagine stage, that's all about getting clear on your vision, like defining what you want to create.
Okay.
It's about dreaming big and allowing yourself to really see those possibilities.
So it's not just about setting goals, it's about like igniting your imagination.
Yes.
Right, and tapping into your deepest desires.
Exactly. And then comes the attract stage,
Yeah.
where you start to draw in those resources and opportunities that you need to actually make that vision a reality.
Mm-hmm.
This is where that law of attraction really comes into play. It's about shifting your energy.
So it's about becoming a magnet for success.
Yeah.
Radiating that energy of your desired outcome.
Exactly. Yeah, you become that magnet.
Okay.
And then finally, we have the manifest stage,
Okay.
where you actually take action to bring that vision to life.
Okay.
This is where all the practical tools and strategies that we've been talking about come in.
Right.
It's about putting in the work, making the calls, building the website, launching the product.
Okay.
So it's a 3-step process. Imagine, attract, manifest.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, but it's really profound when you think about it. It's about aligning your inner world with your outer goals.
It's about creating that synergy.
Yes.
Right, between your vision and your reality.
Exactly. And that's what this Boss Money Formula really does. It provides that framework for doing just that, for mastering your mindset, building those strong connections, and creating systems that support your vision.
Okay.
And it all starts with that unshakable self-belief.
Yeah, and that's kind of a good segue to the next part, because that's something that really stood out to me.
Okay.
Was that emphasis on ethical persuasion.
Yeah. Yeah, the author is very clear that marketing shouldn't be about manipulation
Right.
or trickery. It's about providing that genuine value, building trust with your audience.
Right. They talk about using tools like social proof and scarcity, right? But only in a way that's authentic.
Yes.
That's transparent.
Exactly.
It's not about like creating false urgency or pressure.
It's about highlighting the genuine benefits of what you have to offer and the value it provides.
Yeah, it's about empowering your customers to make those informed decisions.
Yes.
Right. Not coercing them
Exactly.
to buy something that they don't need.
And I think that's so important these days, especially with so much noise and so many people trying to sell you something.
It is.
It's about standing out by being genuine and trustworthy, building a brand that people can actually believe in.
Yeah, a brand with integrity.
Exactly.
Okay, so we talk about the importance of ethical persuasion. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I'd love to get your take on one more thing. We've discussed the power of mindset. the
Yeah.
importance of human connection, the
Yeah.
need for those effective systems. But is there one element of this boss money formula that you think is absolutely essential?
That's a great question. And while I think all the elements are important and they all work together, I would have to say that the foundation of everything is self-belief.
Okay.
It's that unwavering faith in yourself
Yeah.
and your ability to actually achieve your goals.
So even with all the right tools and strategies, if you don't believe in yourself,
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
Exactly, because that self-doubt, that can sabotage even the best laid plans.
So how do we cultivate that? How do we cultivate that unshakable self-belief?
That's a great question. That's something we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, awesome. All right, so welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking about the boss money formula.
Yes.
And right before the break, we were talking about self-belief, that unshakable self-belief.
Yes, that foundation.
Yeah, that foundation, that bedrock. So how do we cultivate that? How do we get that? Is it something we can learn, or are some people just, wired to be more confident?
Well, I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Some people, they just naturally have a more optimistic outlook.
Okay.
But the good news is that self-belief, it really is like a muscle.
Okay.
The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets.
So what are some, exercises, so to speak, that we can do to strengthen that self-belief muscle?
Well, the book offers some really practical advice here.
Okay.
One thing it emphasizes is celebrating your wins no matter how small they are.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in that hustle, always looking ahead to the next thing.
Right.
But taking the time to acknowledge those accomplishments, even those little victories, it can really build that sense of momentum and reinforce that, hey, you are capable. You can do this.
I see. So it's about recognizing those small steps forward.
Yes.
Okay, and kind of building on that positive reinforcement.
Exactly. Another thing the book suggests is surrounding yourself with supportive people.
Okay.
Mentors, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in you,
Yeah.
who believe in your vision because their positive energy, it can be contagious.
Right.
And it can really help to counteract that self-doubt that might, creep in.
So it's like having that personal cheerleading squad,
Yeah, exactly.
people who are there to, remind you of your strengths,
Yes.
encourage you to keep going.
And that's so important
Yeah.
because let's be honest, launching a digital product, building a business, it's not always going to be easy.
Right, you're going to hit those roadblocks.
Yeah, there are going to be setbacks,
Yeah.
challenges, and that's where having that strong support system can make all the difference.
So it's about having those people who can kind of help you see the bigger picture,
Yes, exactly.
who can remind you of your why
Yeah,
when you're feeling maybe a little lost or discouraged.
exactly. And speaking of your why, the book also talks about, connecting with your purpose.
Okay.
Like when you're really clear on why you're doing what you're doing, when you're passionate about your mission, it fuels that belief
Right.
in yourself and your ability to actually make it happen.
So it's like having that inner compass.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That kind of guides you, even when the path ahead seems a little uncertain.
Exactly. And that sense of purpose, it can be such a powerful antidote to that self-doubt.
Okay, so we've talked about celebrating wins, surrounding ourselves with supportive people,
Right.
connecting with our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Any other tips or techniques?
Yeah. Visualize yourself succeeding.
Okay.
Like really create that mental picture of yourself, achieving your goals, feeling the emotions that come with that success.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts.
It's about feeling the emotions.
Okay, so it's almost like you're already there.
Yes. You're embodying that future self.
Okay.
And that's tapping into the power of the subconscious mind.
Right.
You're programming it for success.
Okay, so almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, if you can see it, if you can feel it, you're more likely to actually make it happen.
And the author says that visualization is most effective when it's paired with action.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's not about sitting back and waiting for things to magically manifest.
Right.
You still got to do the work.
It's about taking inspired action.
Okay,
Yeah.
so aligning your inner world,
Yeah.
your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions
Mm-hmm.
with your outer world, your actions.
Oh, exactly.
Creating that synergy between the vision and the reality.
And that's where the Boss Money Formula really shines.
Right.
It gives you the tools to do that.
Okay.
It's about mastering that mindset, building those strong connections, creating systems that support your vision.
And underpinning all of that, right?
Yeah.
is that unshakable self-belief,
That's the foundation.
the foundation. And without it,
Yeah.
the whole thing can kind of crumble.
It can, yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Boss Money Formula, what's the one thing you hope listeners take away from this conversation?
I just hope they realize that success really is an inside job. It all starts with us, our thoughts,
Yeah.
our beliefs, our energy, and while the book provides a roadmap, those tools and strategies, the real journey, it begins within.
It does. And, it's about cultivating that unwavering self-belief,
Yeah.
trusting that you have everything you need to create the life and the business of your dreams.
Exactly, yeah.
So if our thoughts and emotions truly create our reality, what kind of world are you creating with your mind?
Wow.
Right.
That's a powerful question to leave our listeners with. What kind of business are you building? What kind of impact are you making? What kind of life are you living? It all starts with a thought.
Yeah.
And then another thought. And then another. And so choose those thoughts wisely, my friends.
Because those thoughts become your reality. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Boss Money Formula. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. And if you're ready to really take your digital product to the next level, we encourage you to explore the full book. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep creating that reality you desire.